There's no denying that our minds are wonderful tools and they can create absolutely remarkable things. But with all that activity going on in there, they also can cause a lot of distress and suffering and discomfort for us as well. I like to think of the mind as almost like an unruly puppy. Lots of bounding energy and enthusiasm, but without control over that excitable puppy, it can be very destructive as well. So we can use certain techniques to try and create a bit more order, a little bit more control, and make the mind a little bit calmer, just so that we can keep a check on those destructive elements to our mind. So we're going to run through a couple of breathing techniques. Breathing techniques are really, really wonderful at creating concentration, calming the mind, focusing on one thing, bringing the body and the mind into alignment. So we're bringing our attention onto what our body's doing. We're trying to eliminate distractions that are all around us, and it can really, really instantly, if you're feeling quite anxious, if you're feeling quite stressed, if you're feeling like your mind isn't very clear, as soon as you sit down and take 5-10 minutes outside of what you're doing to focus on your breath, you will probably find instant results with that. Instantly, it makes you calmer. In the long run as well, you will find that greater clarity comes from practicing regular breathing exercises. You may sleep better. There's a whole host of physical benefits. So we're going to start with just a couple of quite simple breathing exercises. Both have slightly different effects on the body and the mind. One is a very simple single nasal breathing that will calm your body, calm your mind. A really great relaxing breathing technique. You can do it any time of the day. It's especially effective just before you want to go to sleep. It may relax you and calm you and settle you before you go to sleep, hopefully promoting a more restful night's sleep. And then the other one is Kapalabhati, which is sometimes known as fire breath, which is a more energizing breath. It still has the same focusing effects as the single nasal breathing, but it generates a bit more heat in the body, a little bit more fire. If you're feeling a bit lethargic, if you're struggling to get going, maybe like in the morning, if you're tired, it can just create a little bit of heat, a little bit of movement in the body. So that's a really nice one to do early in the morning rather than late at night, just before you're trying to calm down to go to bed. So what I'll do is I'll run through both of them. They're very simple. I'll give simple instructions and run through a few rounds with you, and then you will hopefully be able to pick it up yourself and just start using it whenever you feel like during your day, giving it a go yourself. So the first single nasal breathing, what we do is we are going to be blocking off one side of the nose at a time with our thumb and our ring finger. So you can just put your index and your middle finger, whatever's comfortable for you, either put it down or if you want to bring it across the bridge of the nose, whatever's comfortable for you. It's our ring finger and our thumb finger that we're going to be using. So we start off by blocking the right nostril with our thumb, and then as we block that, we inhale through the left nostril, slightly pausing at the top, and then we release the breath through the left nostril. We then pause again so that our lungs are free of air. We bring the ring finger over to the left nostril and we block the left nostril this side, and we're going to be breathing in through the right nostril. So with the left nostril blocked, we inhale in through the right nostril, slightly pausing at the top before we then exhale, fully releasing the breath through the right nostril. And then we move back to the left nostril. So we're blocking the right nostril with our thumb, inhaling in through the left, feeling the lungs to full capacity, pausing ever so slightly at the top of the inhale, and then exhaling through the left nostril. Squeezing all the air from all the little gaps in your lungs and your rib cage. Pausing again and back to the right nostril. So we'll just run through a few rounds together. So we'll start blocking the right and in through the left. Inhaling through the left, nice big broad deep breaths, filling the lungs as far as you can. Pausing ever so slightly, keeping full lungs, and then exhaling, releasing the air through the left nostril, really letting go with the exhale, blocking off the left nostril. And we're going to take a nice big deep breath with our right nostril. Inhaling fully, really expanding and filling the lungs. Pausing at the top. Closing your eyes if you want to. Releasing through the right nostril. Now the thing about this exercise is it's really personal and individual. You may want to, when you breathe in, you may want to count. Try and count up to 5 as you inhale in your head. Hold for a certain amount of time and then count as you exhale back down 5 again. You can count as long or as little as you feel like. You may not want to count. You may want to make a lot of noise when you exhale just to really let go, so that it's completely personal. It's up to you. Do what works for you, using the principles of single nasal breathing. So the next breathing exercise that we're going to quickly run through is Kapalabhati, or fire breath. And as I said, this is an energizing breath, so it's slightly different to the single nasal breathing. And what we do is we take a really, really big deep inhale and fill the lungs. And this time when we exhale, we're contracting the diaphragm as we exhale. And it's almost like, if I describe it as like blowing out a candle, but with your nose, not with your mouth. So the best way is probably just to demonstrate for one round. So we inhale, filling the lungs up, expanding the chest, really bringing the shoulders back. And as we exhale, it's short, sharp exhalations through the nose. And if you just put your hands one hand onto your diaphragm and one hand onto your chest, you may even be able to feel the short pumping almost mechanism of your diaphragm pushing in and out. So what we say is that the inhale is passive. So you're not actively inhaling, you're just focusing on the out breath, and you will naturally breathe in as you go along. So let's just try a few rounds of that. So nice deep breath, inhaling, really filling the lungs. And we're going to do about 30 rounds, 30 pumps of this short, sharp exhalation breath. So you can count roughly in your head. You might want to start off just doing 20. You might want to carry on as long as it feels good. So whatever works best for you. Just listen to your body. Nice big deep inhale. And finish with a big inhale and a slow releasing exhale. You might find when you first start practicing Kapalabhati, if you're not used to doing it, these short, sharp exhalations may almost make you feel a little bit dizzy or a little bit lightheaded. That is completely normal. It's because of this unusual breathing pattern that we're not really used to doing. but you will get used to it. If you do feel a bit lightheaded, just stop, take a couple of nice deep breaths, and begin again in your own time. There is no right and wrong, so if you want to do just a few to start off and get used to it, if you feel comfortable, then you can do as many short, sharp exhalations as you want within one set, one routine. So yeah, go with whatever works for you. There's an awful lot of breathing exercises that you can do to try to help calm the mind, bring stillness, bring order, bring control to the mind, with a lot of physical as well as mental benefits. These are a couple of nice ones to get started with. Play around with them, see how you like them, and then you can always explore other options when you get a bit more comfortable with breathing exercises.